Very worshipful Ramil Piacol, District Deputy Grandmaster of Masonic District R10A, Most Worshipful Brother Danilo D. Angeles, past Grandmaster and Grand Secretary of the Grand Lodge of the Philippines, Most Worshipful Brother Peter Limlosuy, past Grandmaster, very worshipful Geoffrey Acevedo, Junior Grand Lecturer, very worshipful Oligario de la Cruz, Master of Ceremonies, very worshipful Lyndon Amandan, Assistant Master of Ceremonies, distinguished brethren of the East and other parts of the lodge, ladies of Mason, brethren all, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Maayong hapon sa inyong tanan. First of all, I would like to thank Most Worshipful Brother Peter for his kind words and generous introduction. To me, it is a rare honor and very flattering to be introduced by a past Grand Master of the Grand Lodge of the Philippines, who outranks me by several levels in the Masonic hierarchy. But luckily, as his older brother, I can still claim I outrank him at least in one area. That is in our family hierarchy. As I stand before you this afternoon, I feel a sense of pride. Firstly, because I'm honored by invitation to be the guest speaker on this special occasion, the installation of my other younger brother, very worshipful Brother Lioncio. And secondly, because I could possibly be the only past master from New Zealand to speak at a lodge installation in the Philippines. Before I go further, I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate the installing team, headed by Most Worshipful Brother Danilo Angeles, for the outstanding manner they have conducted this installation ceremony. It is doubly impressive as if it was conducted entirely in Filipino, something I've never before witnessed. Please give them a big round of applause. Of course, I would also like to congratulate the new set of officers of this lodge for the ensuing year, most especially Worshipful Brother Lioncio, who's taking the master chair for the first time. Lastly, but not the least, congratulations also go to the outgoing Master, Worshipful Brother Ricardo Rotoras, for a job well done. You can now breathe a sigh of relief and be a happy man. To be a master of a Masonic lodge is something that many Masons aspire for, but only a select few can attain. It needs a lot of effort, energy, skill, and commitment. In this regard, I would like to share with you a story told to me by an Australian Grand Lodge officer who happens to be a Filipino. The story is about an enter-apprentice who aspired to be a master of his lodge not too long after his initiation. A worshipful master of a lodge was visiting the newly initiated brother at his home one day. The new Mason's wife took him aside and complained that her husband had started to behave strangely since joining Freemasonry? The master asked in what way. She said that he locks himself up in the toilet for hours on end, mumbling to himself with his little ritual book. Later that evening at the lodge, the master asked the new made brother how he was getting on. Fine, was his answer. The master asked him about his unusual behavior and why he was reading the ritual book in the toilet. Well, the new brother said, because it is the only room in the house that is properly tiled. And furthermore, he said it is the only room where he can practice becoming a master. How? By sitting on the chair of King Solomon in the toilet. But tonight is all about our newly installed worshipful master, worshipful brother Lioncio, who sits in the real chair of King Solomon. So as his brother and fellow Mason, I would like to say something about him. Worshipful brother Lioncio is the fourth among our brothers, and the third in our immediate family to become a master of a Masonic lodge. When he was a child, he was the favorite of our parents because he was very cute and very good looking. Maybe it's hard to believe now because over the years, time has taken its toll. Worshipful brother Lioncio has one special gift, that is public relations. He can make friends easily with anyone he meets and is well liked by everyone in our family, his friends, customers, and most of all, the ladies. He's a peaceful man, always humble and respectful. When there's a problem or dispute, he always manages to find a good compromise and satisfies the various parties involved. But he is also a man of principle. He will never betray his friends and colleagues and will do everything in his power to help them the best he can. Worshipful brother Lioncio is also a man of his word. He will never renege on his promises. Over the years, he has been the person that our family had relied on in managing several of our businesses. For that reason, he has been an extremely busy man. That is why it took him 32 years since his initiation to make his way to the master chair. Just imagine, even his son, worshipful brother Jeremy, beat him to it. It must be one of the rarest occurrences in Freemasonry. So brethren of the Makahala Lodge, since worshipful brother Lioncio has taken the master chair, you can rest assured that he will commit his time and energies to fulfill the duties of his high position and will not disgrace his obligation. I'm confident that with your support, he will be an exemplary master of this lodge. I can go on talking about my brother, worshipful brother Lioncio, but I don't want to embarrass him further by revealing more family secrets. So I'd like to talk about something else, which is very close to my heart. In today's modern world, we live in extremely busy lives. Every day we're all busy facing a lot of problems and challenges. We have very little time for anything. But suppose I challenge you to do one thing every day that won't cost you a cent, and you all have the ability to do, and this thing you do will make the world a better place. Would you do it? I'm sure deep in your hearts, the answer is a resounding yes. My challenge to you is to do one simple random act of kindness every day. A random act of kindness is a selfless act performed by a person wishing to assist or cheer up another person for no other motive than to make the other person happier. Many years ago, when I was in my late 20s living in Manila, I was offered a big career opportunity. A human resources manager position with a multinational based in Hong Kong, paying a salary 5 times what I was earning in Manila. I had never traveled outside the country before then, so I had to apply for a passport at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, which I did. A few weeks later, when I went to collect my passport, the passport officer told me that his office couldn't issue my passport because my surname, Limlosuy, sounded alien. Yes, alien. Therefore, his department needed to investigate my citizenship, and I had to go back the next week. I argued that I had previously presented documents showing that I was born in Cagayan de Oro and that my father was a naturalized Filipino. But the officer was not interested in my explanation, so I had to go back the next week. But still, I was given the same excuse. I was told to return another week. The third time I went there, still no passport. By this time I was so angry and frustrated. I could see my dream of having a great overseas career disappearing, as my Hong Kong employer gave me a deadline of 2 weeks to arrive in Hong Kong. Otherwise, the offer would be rescinded. When I was leaving the office, I saw this person entering the office and then later coming out with a stack of passport in his hands. Out of desperation, I chased after him and asked him how he was able to get so many passports while I had difficulty getting only one. He smiled and said, "Do you have 200 pesos? I said, "Yes." He asked me to give him the money, and he went back to the passport office, and in less than 5 minutes, he came out, and lo and behold, in his hands was my passport. It was like magic. I didn't know the person, nor his name. But what that stranger did for me that day changed my life forever. What this Samaritan did was what I would call a random act of kindness. If not for him, my life would have been different today. Since that time, I promised myself that I would try as much as possible to practice random acts of kindness in my daily life. These days, when we read the papers, all we see are acts of hatred, acts of murder, racism, and other evil acts. Negative acts are always being reported and glamorized by the media. Acts of benevolence and kindness never draw the attention they deserve. However, but by kind thoughts and actions, we as individuals can make the world a better place by practicing little acts of kindness in our daily lives. Acts of kindness do not have to be material or something big. It could be just encouraging others or being generous with compliments. We can start with our friends and families and extend it to our colleagues and strangers. Maybe our sick neighbor needs someone to go to the drugstore. A brother or sister may